Yo, what is going on, guys? And welcome back to 365 Analytics. And today is Wednesday. We have a big day today. It is our wide receiver rankings for you on the channel. I will be going over my top 15 with highlight tapes and a voiceover of them, as usual, if you've seen the ranking videos over the past week or so now. I mapped out my entire top 30 on a Google spreadsheet. I'll show you my entire top 30 wide receivers after, with some honorable mentions included. But we will be doing our highlight tape and voiceover for only the top 15. I'm not going to yap any longer. If you guys do enjoy, please like, subscribe. That would all be greatly appreciated. Without further ado, let's get ready for one of the best days of the ranking series, wide receiver. I'm a Bengals fan. You knew I wasn't leaving them off the list. Starting off with number 15, just cracking the top 15 rankings of wide receivers. It is Bengals wide receiver T. Higgins. Obviously, the number 2 wide receiver in Cincinnati behind Jamar Chase now. And when he is healthy, he can line up with the best of them. He is the best number 2 in the league, in my opinion, and might end up as number one of the best number 2s of all time. Just got paid in Cincinnati, obviously here for the long run with Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow. He comes in at number 15 on the list. Coming in at the number 14 position is a guy who was a rookie last year, now going into year two. Jacksonville Jaguars wide receiver Brian Thomas Jr., the former LSU product, 2024 draft, first round pick. Jacksonville Jaguars selected him, and he exceeded expectations in year one, and he was in the top 15 receiver in my eyes and already cracks the top 15 after only a rookie year. He has the potential to be one of the best in the league one day, but right now he's at number 14 and comes in at number 14, Brian Thomas Jr. Coming in at number 13, another guy who was a rookie last year going into year number two. It is Giants wide receiver Malik Neighbors. He did miss a few games last year. He is also the other rookie out of LSU, first round pick of the Giants last year, was Jaden Daniels, number 1 wide receiver in college, and he was nothing but special for the Giants in year one. I mean, he with a quarterback carousel of Daniel Jones, Tommy DeVito. I mean, who else was there? Was that the only two? Daniel Jones and Tommy DeVito. Who else played for him last year? I think that's it. But with those two guys, he was nothing but productive. He comes in at number 13 on the list. Coming in at number 12 is a guy I feel like does not get talked about enough across NFL fandom. He's been with the Atlanta Falcons for a few years now. It is Drake London again, another former first round pick, and he's been good. He's been good. He hasn't been explosively like one of the best in the league. He hasn't broken out to be a crazy season yet, but he is a good player. He's just a good player. He is a bona fide number 1 wide receiver. When Kirk Cousins and Michael Penix, whoever was at quarterback for the Falcons last year, he was that guy. He was literally that guy, as you can see right there. That taking it away is that Shaquille Griffin. He's taking it away right there. But he is just a really solid player, and I believe he has a new height that he can reach. And let's see if he does. He comes in at number 12 on the list. Coming in just outside the top 10 at number 11 is a guy who had a career year for the NFC Championship bound Washington Commanders in 2024. It is wide receiver Terry McLaurin. He was Jaden Daniels' guy last year. Made so many plays in a special year for the Washington Commanders. Obviously, they were expected to be a team in a rebuild with a rookie quarterback who had low expectations. Supposed to be a 4 or 5 win team at most, but they ended up going all the way to the NFC Championship game with Dan Quinn and company. Had his career year, former Ohio State, I believe he was a third round pick, and he comes in at number 11. Coming in inside the top 10, you know I had to put him in the top 10. This guy is, in my opinion, a future Hall of Famer. I don't know about first ballot. A lot of people might consider him a first ballot Hall of Famer, but he's a future Hall of Famer, and there's no excuse for him not to be. It is Buccaneers wide receiver Mike Evans. Obviously, past 30 years old now. He's won a Super Bowl championship with Tom Brady and company, and everybody knows the stat. I believe it is now 10 straight 1,000-yard seasons since he's been in the league. He has never not had an 1,000-yard season. It was the closest it's been yet last season, but he's still never been under that 1,000-yard season mark. Mr. Consistency, and you just can't leave him out of the top 10. At number 10, it's Mike Evans. Coming in at number 9 There's another guy who had his so-called breakout season last year. It is Houston Texans number one, newly paid. I think he got paid last offseason, or maybe it was early this offseason. I can't even remember. There's been so much stuff happening in the NFL. It is Nico Collins of the Houston Texans. So the story with this guy is last season, early in the year, he was the leader in receiving yards for a long, long time until he had an injury. For about probably 5 or 6 weeks, he was the leader in the NFL in receiving yards. Had an injury, suffered an injury, missed probably 3 or 4 games, fell behind Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase eventually went on to win the Triple Crown. This guy, he doesn't really do anything out of the ordinary, but he's just consistent. He makes plays, and he is CJ Stroud's number one guy at number 9. Coming in at number 8, it is now Los Angeles Rams receiver. Last year he was of the Raiders and the New York Jets. Davante Adams, obviously one of Aaron Rodgers' boys in the NFL. Teamed up at the trade deadline with Aaron Rodgers last season, broke the NFL, and the Jets still didn't get fixed. I mean, this guy still had a 1,000-yard season, though. Do not underestimate him, even though he is getting on the older side. He hasn't been as explosive and as flashy as he once was. He still had a 1,000-yard season last season, and with the credibility of the seasons past he's had, I have to include him in the top 10 still. At number 8 is Davante Adams. Coming in at number 7 is a guy who, before 2023, nobody has ever heard his name, the former BYU product, the Los Angeles Rams wide receiver 1, in a room now with Davante Adams, as I just talked about. A guy who missed, I believe, 6 or 7 games last year and still almost put up an 1,000-yard season. He is no joke. He is no fluke. 2023 was not a fluke. This guy is a bona fide star, and he comes in at number 7 on the list. Puka Nacua. Coming in at the number 6 spot on the list is a guy who had a little bit of a down year in 2024, but is still a great player and still has to come in on this list because of the credibility of his 2023 season. Everybody knows the name. It is Tyreek Hill of the Miami Dolphins. His season started pretty crazy from the jump. Obviously, everybody saw the video where he was arrested on the Sunday of the week 1 game prior to the game, probably about 9, 10 in the morning. Tyreek Hill got pulled over by the cops, and he didn't want to roll down his window, got put on the ground, different things happened, and I don't want to say it threw off his mojo for the season, but his season was not great. I don't even know if he cracked 1,000 yards. If he did, it was very, very, like, it was just right there. There was some trade rumors, including him going into the offseason, but he looks like he's here to stay in Miami. Let's see if he can rebound. He comes in at number 6 on the list. Starting off the top 5 with the Detroit Lions slot receiver security blanket, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Former USC guy, 16 receivers drafted before him, and he knows every single one of them. He knows the name, he's memorized every single one of them, and he's become one of the best receivers in the NFL. Jared Goff's guy, his main guy in the slot, Mr. Consistent, 1,000-yard seasons back to back to back now, I believe. I think it's 3 straight, maybe even, what year did he come in the league? 2021 was his first year, so maybe it's been 4 straight. I think it's been 3 straight, though. But he comes in at number 5 on the list, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Coming in at number 4 is now a Super Bowl champion, former Tennessee Titan, now a Philadelphia Eagle, and he has some jewelry in his closet. It is A.J. Brown, the former Ole Miss guy. Got traded to Philadelphia on draft night, and it was a shocker heard around the world, and he's become, or he already kind of was, but he's become a top 5 guy now. When he was in Tennessee, he was a top 10 guy. He was always a good player, but since he's been in Philadelphia, he's had Jalen Hurts, he's had Devontae Smith on the opposite side of him. He's become a bona fide top 5 guy, and there's really no debate about it. At number 4, A.J. Brown. At number 3 is Dallas Cowboys wide receiver CeeDee Lamb, former Oklahoma player. Now has another receiver opposite side of him with George Pickens, another, I'd say, star receiver. He's had Amari Cooper prior, but that was in CeeDee Lamb's really young years. He's become one of the most elusive speedster and playmaking wide receivers in the NFL at this point, and he comes in at number 3. You know that 88 in Dallas. It's one of the most iconic numbers in NFL history. At number 3, CeeDee Lamb. At number two, this one's gonna be a little bit controversial because I'm a Bengals fan, but both numbers one and two are interchangeable. It's really entirely preference. They are both the two best in the league, and there is zero debate about it. But at number two, I am putting formerly LSU, now a Minnesota Viking, Mr. Consistent, the second best in the league, in my opinion, Justin Jefferson of the Minnesota Vikings. Sam Darnold and him were absolutely electric together last year, and everybody knows it. Everybody knows it. The two LSU guys are number one and two, and we're going to be talking about the other one in a second. But this guy, since he's been in the league in 2020, has been nothing but special. Has potential to be one of the best receivers in NFL history. He has the potential to be the best, if we're being real. If we're being real, he has potential to be the best. Will he get there? We'll see. But at number two, Justin Jefferson. At number one, you all know who it is. The youngest Triple Crown winner in the NFL's history. Former first round pick of the LSU Tigers, number five overall, the best receiver in the National Football League, Jamar Chase, the most explosive guy I've ever watched put on a Cincinnati Bengals uniform. And I believe will be the best receiver to ever put on a Cincinnati Bengals uniform and one of the best receivers of all time when it's all said and done. This guy and Joe Burrow are just a dynamic duo. I've never seen anything like it in the NFL. The chemistry that these two guys have, and with Jamar Chase, I mean, he had some drops in the preseason. He had some drops. Everybody remembers his rookie year in the preseason. I think he dropped 3 or 4 passes, and he came in 2021 was the leading force to bring the Bengals to the Super Bowl. Was the most explosive guy in the league since he came in the league, and he comes in at number one on the list to cap off the wide receiver rankings. And here is the entirety of the rankings. Obviously, as you can see here, highlighted the top 15 I went over with the highlights and voiceovers. Just missing are a few guys that I considered to put in here. Garrett Wilson, Devontae Smith, Chris Godwin. Before the injury, Chris Godwin was like on crazy pace to be the leader in yards and last year, similar to Nico Collins. Before the injury, he was tearing it up, but he re-signed with the Buccaneers. He'll be back there. Those are the four. Those are the three guys I did say that I really considered putting in the top 15 that I left out. These three guys are obviously all in the same exact tier as T. Higgins, Brian Thomas Jr., Malik Neighbors, and Drake London, and so on. About the same tier as those guys, I'd say. But if you guys want to take a look at the 16 through 30, these are the guys who I left off the top 15 that I put in my top 30 on the spreadsheet. Some different guys like JSN and Lad McConkey, those two are razor close. I didn't know who to put where. Zay Flowers, you can make an argument he should be a little bit higher. Cooper Kupp now with the Seahawks, Metcalf, Sutton, Brandon Ayuk got injured last year. I still keep him in 22 there. Diggs, this one might be a little bit controversial. Maybe I think he's too low. Was injured last season with the Bills. The last 8 games of the season, his last year with the Bills, did not produce that much, but still put up a 1,000 yard season that year. And DJ Moore caps off at number 30 with these honorable mentions being Chris Olave, Michael Pittman Jr., Debo Samuel, Marvin Harrison Jr., Rashee Rice, Josh Downs, JMO, Calvin Ridley, Khalil Shakir, Jacoby Myers, who's very underrated, by the way. He's a decent player, and Jordan Addison. So yeah, that's about a wrap on the wide receiver rankings. This is the funnest ranking I've had yet because obviously it's the longest ranking. We've had all these rankings so far. There's been so many of them, but yeah, this is the funnest one so far. Tomorrow we will have running back, and Friday we will have the best day of them all, which is quarterback, followed by the top 100 next week, probably around Wednesday or Thursday around that time. I'll figure that out on Friday when we make the quarterback video. But if you guys did enjoy, please like, subscribe. That would all be greatly appreciated. And I will see you guys back with our running back rankings tomorrow night. So yeah, take care. Have a good night.